Since 2017, machines have ruined poker. Solvers play better than you. Bots play faster than you. And every hand you think is yours? Already solved. Already beaten. The tells are gone. The edge vanished. And the worst part? You might already be playing against a machine without knowing. This is how AI is killing poker, one brutal invasion at a time. And the 12th? It's so destructive, some pros are quitting the game entirely. Once upon a time, poker was the art of the read. A twitch, a sigh, a glance, tiny tells that separated legends from amateurs, but today, that art has been replaced by science. Cold, calculated, and exact. Welcome to the era of the solver. Solvers are powerful programs that break poker into thousands of possible decision trees and then calculate the mathematically perfect response to every move. This is called GTO, Game Theory Optimal Strategy. And now, anyone with a laptop or even a phone can access it. What used to be elite knowledge is now downloadable for $99 a month. Legendary pro Doug Polk once said, "Poker has shifted from old-school gambling to a much more intelligent and sophisticated game. But sophistication has a price." The instinct-driven hero call is out. The chart-based check raise is in. Players now memorize massive GTO ranges instead of watching their opponents. Instead of trusting their gut, they study mixed strategies, equilibrium points, and balance frequencies. Even the vocabulary has changed. No one says he looked nervous anymore. They say, his range is capped. Think about that. The move that wins a big pot isn't based on courage, it's based on what the app told you yesterday. Solvers haven't just improved play, they've replaced creativity with computation. The beauty of poker was always its unpredictability. What happens when you don't play by the numbers? But in this new age, not playing by the numbers just means losing. This is no longer about reading faces. It's about reading spreadsheets. And the soul of the game is the casualty. If solvers rewrote poker strategy, bots rewrote poker reality, especially online. And what used to be the domain of late-night grinders and small-stakes hustlers, that's now overrun with tireless machines. Poker bots are programs that sit at your table, analyze every hand in real time, and make perfect decisions based on millions of prior games. They don't tilt. They don't need sleep, and they never miss value. On some unregulated sites, bots now outnumber humans at certain stakes. In 2024, Bloomberg dropped a bombshell report. A sophisticated Russian bot army was dominating online poker rooms. It wasn't science fiction, it was happening in real games against real players, for real money. The scariest part? Most people didn't even notice. Bots can play hundreds of hands per minute across dozens of tables. They've been trained using machine learning, consuming data sets larger than any human brain could handle. And they adapt fast. Every line you take, every trick you try has probably already been tested, countered, and neutralized. One player described it perfectly. Grinding poker against bots is like digging with a spoon while the bots have bulldozers. Even major platforms are struggling. In 2023, 888 Poker admitted it had to refund over $250,000 to victims of bot and RTA abuse. And that's just one site. Many smaller rooms can't even keep up. What used to be a fair fight, one mind against another, has become a war against invisible, tireless software. And unless you've got a bot of your own, you're probably already behind. The online grind? It's not just harder now. For many, it's unwinnable. Imagine having a supercomputer whisper the perfect move into your ear during every hand. That's not science fiction. It's real-time assistance, or RTA. And it's turning poker into a high-tech underworld of digital cheating. RTA tools are like solvers on steroids. They provide real-time GTO answers during live play, telling users exactly how to bet, when to fold, and how to exploit every situation. It's not analysis after the hand, it's during the hand. And it's banned on every major poker site, for good reason. But that hasn't stopped cheaters. In high-stakes online games, players have been caught running solvers on a second computer, feeding every detail into the machine and getting instant answers. Fader Cruz, once a respected streamer, was exposed for using a dream machine setup. One laptop to play, the other to cheat. In 2020, GG Poker banned 40 accounts for using RTA and seized over $1 million in stolen winnings. And in March 2025, another wave of cheaters was exposed, using chart-based RTA tools to mimic solver decisions perfectly. These tools don't just undermine fairness, they obliterate it. There's no room for psychology or street smarts when one player is playing pure GTO in real time. RTA has spawned an entire black market. Private Discord servers and hidden forums trade software, sell access, and teach users how to evade detection. Some cheaters even disguise their play patterns to avoid triggering site alarms. It's digital doping, and the threat is growing. In the age of RTA, you're not just playing against a player, you're playing against a machine, hiding inside a human. In the early days of poker, players learned through grit, books, forums, railbirds, and real-world experience. Strategy was shared, debated, and discovered. Today, it's hidden behind a paywall. Modern poker training has become a business model. Top-tier content isn't shared, it's sold. Subscription platforms like Upswing Lab, Raise Your Edge, and Run It Once charge anywhere from $99 to hundreds of dollars per month. Add in solver licenses, database software, private coaching sessions, and you're looking at thousands per year just to stay competitive. This shift created a new divide, one where players with deep pockets can access cutting-edge strategies, while casual fans or low-stakes grinders are priced out completely. Gone are the days of open discussion threads. Today, high-level strategies are locked in private communities, behind NDAs and six-figure memberships. If you can't afford to buy into the knowledge economy, you fall behind, fast. Critics have called this new model predatory, and they're not wrong. Beginner players drawn in by big promises often burn hundreds of dollars on courses before ever seeing a return. The learning curve has become a credit card statement. The result? Poker is no longer a meritocracy of wits. It's an arms race, and knowledge is ammunition. You can either pay for the best tools or get crushed by someone who did. Training used to be about passion. Now it's about payment. And for many, the joy of learning has been replaced by the pressure to purchase. If you thought the table was tilted before the first hand was dealt, you were right. Picture this. You're dealt king-queen suited. The flop comes 10 of spades, 7 of clubs, 2 of hearts. You pause, weighing your options. But here's the truth. Your decision has already been made. Thanks to solvers, simulators, and shared databases, nearly every poker hand imaginable has been played millions of times. Algorithms have mapped out the optimal path for every scenario. Flop textures, bet sizes, turn lines, river frequencies. You're not solving a puzzle. You're following a flowchart. In today's poker world, there's no such thing as a new spot. Whether it's a C-bet decision on a dry board or a 3-bet shove from the cutoff, chances are a solver has already assigned it a percentage. A precise number, a mathematical truth. And it doesn't stop with professionals. Even low-stakes players now mimic solver charts. Pre-flop ranges, post-flop trees, river frequencies, all memorized or loaded into apps. When you sit down to play, you're not discovering anything. You're reliving a simulation. You might think you're bluffing creatively. In reality, you're just echoing a move that was solved years ago by a computer on a server halfway across the world. The unpredictability, the chaos that made poker thrilling, is being drained by digital certainty. Poker used to be a game of what might happen. Now it's a game of what already has. Every hand you play? It's not a battle of wits, it's a rerun, and the machine already knows the ending. Once upon a time, poker was loud, raw, and full of flavor. People said things like, "He's on tilt," or "That guy's tighter than a drum." Banter was part of the game. Players told stories, shared war tales, and nicknamed hands after legends. Today, it's spreadsheets and solver speak. Walk into a modern poker room and listen closely. You won't hear about soul reads or gut feelings. Instead, you'll hear, "His range is capped," "I had a blocker to the nuts," or "the EV of that line was negative." Welcome to the new poker language, where every sentence sounds like a statistics lecture. Solvers haven't just changed how we play. They've changed how we think about play. And in doing so, they've drained the game of its poetry. Even commentary has transformed. Colorful descriptions have been replaced by robotic precision. He went with his read becomes he balanced his frequencies. He bluffed him off the pot becomes he correctly overbet the river using a polarized range. And this change isn't limited to professionals. Even recreational players now speak the same coded language. Because that's what it takes to keep up. But in this hyper-technical world, something's been lost. The joy of storytelling, the drama of a gutsy call, the pride of saying, I just felt it. Poker isn't just a math problem, or at least it didn't used to be, when even the words we use have been rewritten by machines. What chance does the spirit of the game have? Even the felt isn't safe anymore. In the past, live poker was gritty, human, and personal. A man with a hoodie and sunglasses might try to hide a tell. A veteran might stare you down with nothing but air. Today, it's hidden cameras, Bluetooth earpieces, and cheat tech disguised as buttons and watches. The casino has become a battlefield of gadgets. A recent Wired expose uncovered players smuggling in ultra-thin card scanners embedded in accessories. In one private game, a player wore discreet earbuds and sat motionless while his phone's hidden camera fed whole card information to a remote assistant. Another incident involved a ring with a microtransmitter built inside, beaming live reads to a partner nearby. This is not paranoia, it's happening. Casinos are fighting back. They ban electronics at the table. They scan for wireless signals. Dealers are trained to watch for irregular behavior. Some venues are even exploring anti-cheating tech, hardware that detects infrared, audio, or suspicious frequency bursts in real time. But the arms race never ends. For every new safeguard, there's a new exploit. And not all tech is illegal. Some players bring custom analytics tools to track betting patterns, or wear smart glasses with data overlays. It's not just about instinct anymore, it's about outgearing your opponent. In live poker, the romantic idea of a grizzled pro reading a tell across the table is being replaced by engineers, hackers, and silent machines. It's no longer just you and the cards, it's you, the table, and whatever tech your opponent managed to sneak past security. There was a time when bluffing was poker's soul, when players stared each other down holding nothing but air, willing their opponent to fold with sheer confidence. That's the drama people tuned in for. That's the magic that made poker different from chess or backgammon. Today, that magic is dying. Solvers don't bluff like humans do. They bluff with balance. Specific combos, exact blockers, calculated frequency. Not emotion, not instinct. A solver tells you to bluff with Jack-9 offsuit precisely 10% of the time. Not because you feel it, but because the math says so. And players are following suit. Bluffs now happen when the chart says they should. They're quieter, rarer, and almost never wild. Gone are the hero plays, the all-in moves with pure heart. What's left are robotic, pre-approved bluffs that blend into the flow of GTO. One journalist put it best: AI is trying to solve a game that used to revolve around looking into somebody's eyes. But solvers don't have eyes. And they definitely don't have guts. This has consequences. When bluffs vanish, tension vanishes. The stakes feel lower, the viewer engagement drops. Because watching two computers trade optimal bets isn't drama, it's a numbers exercise. In today's game, if someone jams the river, it's not a bold move. It's probably a balanced line. And when every player thinks the same way, the bluff dies not with a bang, but with a spreadsheet. Poker without bluffing isn't poker. It's just controlled risk. And the most daring move you'll see might be folding when you shouldn't. Remember when poker was about people? The wild sunglasses, the trash talk, the larger-than-life personalities who made every hand feel like a heavyweight fight? Those players weren't just good, they were unforgettable. Today, many of them are gone. And in their place, silent, stone-faced solver disciples. Modern poker is increasingly filled with players who look the same, act the same, and talk the same. If they talk at all. They stare at the felt, check their notes, and silently input data into their brains. You'll see charts, tablets, and headphones, but rarely a smile or a smirk. The color has drained from the game. On Reddit and poker forums, longtime fans say it feels like the table has gone mute. Where once you had the energy of Daniel Negreanu, Phil Hellmuth or Tony G, you now have quiet grinders muttering hand histories to themselves and nodding at solver stats. And it's not just live games. Online streams have taken a hit too. Content creators and influencers used to inject personality into the game. Now, many just narrate hands with GTO solvers running in the background. Even the way poker is marketed has shifted, from be the next Maverick to solve like a machine. The soul of poker was always its characters, the ones who could win and entertain.
One.
What the
Well
I
done.
called the race with frickin' King 8.
Well, this kid probably won't last another hour.
But when entertainment is replaced by execution, you don't get stars, you get systems. The game hasn't just lost its flair, it's lost its faces. If you think it's just the casuals feeling crushed by poker's new reality, think again. Even the legends, the household names who built their careers on skill and edge, are starting to feel the weight. And some of them are walking away. The pressure today is relentless. Not only do you have to study solvers, memorize range charts, and analyze your own play down to decimal points, but you also have to constantly worry if your opponents are using bots, RTA, or ghosting systems. That's not a game. That's a job with surveillance. In recent years, World Series champion Daniel Negreanu has publicly vented his frustration. He's posted rants about toxic behaviors, subtle cheating, and the soulless grind of modern poker. For a man who once embodied the joy of the game, that shift says a lot. He's not alone. Numerous pros have stepped back, citing mental fatigue, burnout, or simply saying poker isn't fun anymore. Even some who win regularly feel hollow victories. Because when every hand is solved and every opponent might be playing with assistance, what exactly are you beating? In the past, variance was part of the thrill. You could run bad for weeks, then bounce back. But now, if you're losing, you don't just question your strategy, you question the integrity of the game. This constant paranoia is exhausting. Even champions are burning out, not because the cards aren't going their way, but because the game itself has changed under their feet. When the best start logging off, what message does that send to the rest of us? Poker used to be a spectator sport, not in the traditional sense, but in spirit. Tens of thousands watched WSOP broadcasts, followed online streams, and cheered for their favorite players like it was a primetime drama. There was tension, there was trash talk, there were moments you had to see live. But these days, people are tuning out. The streams are quieter, the players are colder. The hands? Predictable. When every decision follows a solver's script and every bluff is just a checkbox, the drama disappears. What remains is a polished, mathematically sound, but emotionally hollow experience. Twitch stats tell the story. In 2025, average poker stream viewership hovers under 3,000 at any given time. Compare that to viral gaming streams, and it's a fraction of what it once was. Even big-name tournaments struggle to keep casual fans engaged. Why? Because nobody wants to watch a solved game. They want the unexpected. The hero call, the ridiculous bluff, the table banter that turns into a rivalry. But when personalities are muted, strategies are identical. And no one dares make a wrong move. You lose the entertainment. Poker becomes a spreadsheet on screen. The stakes might be high, but the energy is flat. And when fans stop watching, the ecosystem suffers. Fewer eyeballs mean fewer sponsors. Fewer sponsors mean fewer opportunities. And fewer opportunities mean the next generation of players might never show up. If poker can't capture attention, it'll fade from the spotlight. The audience isn't just bored, they're already gone. So, is this the end of poker as we knew it? Not quite, but we're close. The bots haven't killed poker, not yet. But they've drained the soul from it. One chart, one solver, one perfect play at a time. So the question is simple. Can we bring the chaos back? Because if you're done watching poker get solved, it's time to see what can't be cracked. If you're still wanting to try your hand at making money with poker, click here to see how Hungry Horse would make his first $100,000 playing poker.